Hey friends, Doc David here. Let's talk a little bit about fair fighting. Woo! Fair fighting. Is there such a thing? I don't know if I like the word fair fighting because sometimes is fighting fair? I don't know. The idea behind fair fighting is that you do it in a structured way, because a lot of times fighting is not structured. I remember growing up and my grandpa and my dad liked to watch boxing on television. And I just think, man, is there boxing on television? I guess if you go to cable network, there's boxing. I never saw the attraction to it. It was just something that they like to do. And so there's rules in that, right? You can't hit below the belt, because if you hit below the belt, woo, watch out, that's going to be painful. And so it makes sense to have fighting rules in a relationship as well. So I want to go through about 9 fighting rules. I'm going to break it up into 2 parts because I know attention spans don't often stay the length of a 5-minute video. We're probably already like 3 minutes in, so I got to be quick here. I'm responding to someone who follows me who asked the question like, how can we, what are some structure around fighting? And so I wanted to address that quickly. So number 1, I think it's super important when you're fighting is to know what you're actually upset about. Because a lot of times you're not really upset about the mustard that got left out on the counter. You're upset about something. Sometimes it happened days ago, or maybe happened earlier in the day, or maybe you're upset about something that happened at work, an interaction that you had with your boss. And so then you come home, for example, and you see something that's left out, and then you're just annoyed with that. And so it's super important when you're in an argument to, even before, and this is the hard part, it's before the argument starts, to do some self-reflection and think, okay, why am I upset? Is it really because the mustard got left out? Yes, that's annoying. But is it more related to something that I'm still kind of harboring from a couple days ago? Because then that radically changes your conversation. If you can think about what you're actually upset about. Another thing, and this really gets people, and it's gotten me before, it's discussing one issue at a time. A lot of times issue A may come up, like talking about a mother-in-law, for example. And so you're talking about your mother-in-law and your partner says something that just hurts your feelings. And so then you get defensive and you say, well, what about your mother-in-law? Or what about this thing that your parents did 3 months ago? And then a rabbit trail starts. And then you head down that rabbit trail and you start talking about the thing from 3 months ago. And that brings up another conversation that might sound like, you always do this when we talk about hard things. You just go to your room and you retreat like you did 4 months ago. Remember when you did that? And there's another rabbit trail that happens. So by the time you're done with the argument, you've talked about 6 different things, and the original thing that you had talked about is no longer, you didn't solve it. And the problem is then you've talked about 6 different things and those aren't solved as well, and then you leave from the argument feeling frustrated and annoyed. How many people has that ever happened to? You know you're watching this and you're like, oh yeah, that's happened to me. Well, I've got a solution for you. If you decide to have an argument about something, take a piece of paper, write down the topic of the argument, and then put it there in front of you. And when one of you decides to go off trail down a rabbit path, the other one needs to, hey, I know that's an important issue, but let's focus on mother-in-law. Let's focus on the issue that we agreed upon here on this paper. It sounds kind of elementary, but it will save you loads of hours and hours of fighting time because you're sticking on one issue and trying to resolve one issue. The third thing today that I want to talk about is no degrading language. This is a big thing because I think when couples call each other names, that's creating a whole new level of hurt between them. And some are like, oh, that's just how we do it. I don't know. I really believe name calling should have no place in a marriage. Even if you really feel like saying it, you should not be calling your partner names. It's just juvenile, it's offensive, it's hurtful. And if you do it over time, then your partner doesn't want to have conversations with you, and that gets really hard to kind of take out of your mind. And so my encouragement to you is like, just don't have degrading language. If you're getting to the point where you're having some degrading language, and you all know what the words are, I'm not going to repeat the words here. You know what the words are, you know what you say. If you find that that's happening, you immediately need to stop your arguing and break off so you can get calmer heads amongst yourselves. All right, so those are 3 things. Stay tuned for the video next week, when I'm going to talk about 3 more things. I know, I'm going to keep you in suspense. Sorry, I can't give it to you all today. Hey, I'm Doc David. Have a great day. We're going to have a great weekend. It's Labor Day weekend. It's beautiful outside right now. We're still in quarantine. If you want to ask me a question, comment below or email me at headshrinkinc@gmail.com. See you guys.